Ramakatha Rasavahini, Prema Sudhamritavahini, Sathya Sanatani Dharma Swarupini, Shanti Pradayini Mokshakarini, Ramakatha Rasavahini, Ramakatha Rasavahini.
Sai Ram, everyone. We will start the study circle with 3 Omkarams. Om. Om. Sai Ram, everyone. Just to recollect where we were last week, Sage Vishwamitra had arrived at the kingdom of Ayodhya. King Dasharatha had invited him and paid him all the respects and had promised that he would do whatever he has been asked or whatever he will be asked. And then Sage Vishwamitra asked for the sons to accompany him. That's where we were. So I will stop here. Maybe we will read the slide which we read last week. Okay. Okay. Ron, are you available to read, please?
Sure, Sai Ram. Vishwamitra said, No, I had no doubt in my mind. I simply uttered those words in order to hear this assertion in your steady adherence to truth. I know that the Ikshvaku rulers are intensely wedded to the duty of fulfilling the spoken word. Well, I require from you only one thing now. It is neither wealth nor vehicles, neither cows nor gold, nor regiments nor attendants. I need only 2 of your sons, Rama and Lakshmana, to accompany me. What do you say to this? The sage asked. At this, Dasharatha lost balance. He fell back and could not recover soon. Regaining his composure after some time, he gasped for courage to utter a few words. He said, Master, of what use will those boys be for you? The mission on which you've intended to take these boys can be better fulfilled by me, don't you think so? Give me the chance. Let me make my life worthwhile. Tell me what it is. I shall derive joy therefrom. The sage replied, My firm belief is that the task which these boys can fulfill can be undertaken by no one else. They alone can accomplish this task. Neither your millions nor even you can carry it out. Boys such as these have not been born before, nor will such be born again. This is my conviction. Sai Ram.
Unmute, Arun.
Sorry, I didn't realize. Sai Ram, we had read these lines and discussed somewhat. But if anyone would like to discuss any points, additional points, please speak up. Thank you. So if If everyone is okay, maybe we will proceed to the next section. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Listen, I resolve upon the performance of a celebrated yajna, or sacrificial rite. But as soon as I enter upon its preliminaries, evil spirits and demons assemble from nowhere and cause sacrilegious obstruction. They cause interruptions and pile hindrances. I want these boys to ward off those demons and save the yajna from these abominations, so that I can bring it to a successful conclusion. This is my purpose, my desire. What do you say now? Asked Vishwamitra in a serious voice. The king replied, Master, these tender little boys, how can they perform such a tremendous task? I am here, most willing and most ready. I shall come with my chariotry, infantry, cavalry, and elephantry, and guard the area of the sacrifice and your hermitage. I shall see that the yajna is conducted with full success without the least interruption. I have some experience in fighting against these demonic forces, since, as you know, I fought for the gods against them and brought them victory. I can do it quite easily. I shall make arrangements to accompany you even now. Permit me to do so, he appealed. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Ram. Auntie, shall we read?
Okay. Yeah. నేనొక మహాయాగమును తలపెట్టి దానికి ప్రారంభము జరిపినంతనే ఎక్కడ నుండియో రాక్షసులు వచ్చి దానికి విఘ్నములు కల్పించుచు.
So when I began a great yajna, as I started performing, many rakshasas came and
విఘ్నములు
made many complications or obstacles for conducting it.
నానా అశుద్ధములు ఏర్పరుచుచున్నారు.
They make the whole place filthy or unclean.
కాన ఆ రాక్షసుల బారిని తప్పించి నా యాగమును రక్షించి పూర్తిగా వించులను.
Therefore, the yajna has to be protected, and all these rakshasas have to be rakshasa bharini means their problems created by them should be reduced. The yajna has to be protected, and completion should be assured.
పూర్తిగా వించును, it has to be completed.
Complete. Okay.
ఇదియే నా వాంఛ.
This is my desire.
ఏమందువు?
What do you say?
అని గంభీరముగా ప్రశ్నించగానే,
when Vishwamitra asked in a firm manner,
రాజు, స్వామి, ఈ కార్యము ఈ పసిపిన్నలకు చేత కాదు.
Oh Swami, this job is not possible by the children, infants, very young children.
Yeah.
As if he's treating them like infants.
Yeah, infants.
Possible to
infants cannot do that job.
Right.
నేను సర్వసిద్ధము.
I am ever ready, all ready.
నా చతురంగ బలముతో తమ ఆశ్రమమును కాపాడి,
with my valor, with all the 4 types of armories, armed forces,
తమ ఆశ్రమమును కాపాడి,
protecting your ashrama,
యజ్ఞము నిర్విఘ్నముగా జరుగునట్లుగా చూచుకొందును.
I will look after the yajna to progress without any obstacles.
దేవాసురులతో పోరాడిన పరిచయము నాకు బాగుగా ఉండుట చేత,
having fought between the devas and asuras, I had that experience is available in me.
ఇది సులభముగా నెరవేరుతును.
This will be done, completed without any difficulty.
ఇప్పుడే తమ వెంట వచ్చుటకు ఏర్పాట్లు గావింతును.
Right away, I will make arrangements to accompany you.
సెలవసంగుడ. ఇప్పుడే తమ వెంట వచ్చుటకు ఏర్పాట్లు గావింతును, సెలవసంగుడ అని ప్రార్థించును.
Please permit me. Thus he prayed.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, sir. Sai Ram, everyone. Anyone who would like to discuss any of the points, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, brother, can you remind how old Lord Rama and all the brothers were at that time? Teenagers?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, teenagers.
Thank you.
They are just, yes, Ron, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, just an observation. I think up till now, when we've seen interactions between King Dasharatha and any sages, he's absolutely obedient. Whereas in this case, we see that Vishwamitra gave very clear directions in terms of what he wants, but the king doesn't like the answer, so he seems to be again offering what he wants to offer rather than what Vishwamitra is requesting. That's all, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, auntie.
It is the Vatsalya, Putra Vatsalya, Putra Moha, we can call, which made Dasharatha to think, no, I cannot spare these children. I want to come and help you. I cannot send these children with you. That shows the attachment to his children, I feel. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, auntie. Thank you, auntie. Yes, Bani.
Sai Ram. So, as Auntie said, that Putra Vatsalya, like, should we, as regular people, when we have conflicts or dilemmas like this, when we are to make a decision about the love for our children or Putra Vatsalya versus our duty as a human person or a king in this case, how do we weigh and make the right decision?
Good question, sister. Anyone would like to volunteer your understanding or your approach? What would it be? I think maybe everyone should be in a position to answer. Yes, Pina, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, Anna, what I have to say that you have to see both sides, who is asking and who is delivering. And it depends the whole situation on then in our context also, that who is asking, what they are asking, what paristhiti situation is there. In this here, it is Sage Vishwamitra and Dashratha. They're both mighty powers, both sides have a lot to offer in the sense like if the guru is asking, the sage is asking. So you have to, in that context, you have to see who is asking and who is delivering. Sai Ram.
So can you, Bina, you can elaborate in which situation, what should happen? Also another question which will come. In this case, Vishwamitra is asking, so how we should have Dasharatha responded? And in other cases, also you can give some scenarios.
So here it says in a previous slide that Dasharatha taken back very first when that is the Putra Vasalya, of course. But in a right behavior, it is like, when a guru is asking something, it's a devotion, it's a form words. And I think that in a second thought, Dasharatha will, I'm 100% sure about that, but how it is, what point it changes his mind and it surrenders, that how fast, that depends. But you can add, Anna, definitely.
Sai Ram. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts? Yes, Brother Narendra Reddy.
Sai Ram, brothers, I think we are a little too critical of the king. He is the king, but Lord Rama and the other four are his children. But he has been reasonable to say that these are children, and to send children to fight demons is a very serious matter. Of course, the sage, he knows who Lord Rama is, but at the moment we have to accept that the king is reasonable. But I'm also influenced by the point that it is the sage who is asking, whom we have accepted as our guru. And so it's a little bit of a dilemma here, but I don't want to go against the king very, very quickly, because, how do you send 12-year-old people to fight demons? So, after, as the previous sister mentioned, eventually, of course, the king agrees to it, but we don't have to be very critical of the king here. Om Sai Ram. Thank you. Did you get me? Did you hear me?
Yes, brother. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I think Uncle Surendra Bhaga wants to know how to get words. Uncle, you may have to unmute. Yes, Uncle. Please go ahead, Uncle.
Just want the words to be seen on the screen.
Yes, Uncle.
When you speak,
Yes.
are they going to come now?
Uncle, are you unable to see the screen, the words in the screen?
What should I do?
You're unable to read the screen? Sister Aruna, can you help? Can you help, please? Thank you.
Yes, brother.
Just talk to him, Sister Aruna.
Yes, I'll give him a call now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sister. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Paramanda. So we can look at it in two ways. One, like what was being discussed. On one pan is the wisdom, and another pan is attachment. Knowing that who is asking again is sage Vishwamitra, and there is a lot of wisdom behind it, needs to ultimately outweigh, because I think like what Uncle Ron mentioned, he has very clearly stated that it's not possible by ordinary human beings. So in terms of what's been conveyed, the subtleness of, or the wisdom behind those words, it is difficult to pierce the shield of attachment that Dasharatha is wearing. And we can see in the same instance how when sage Vashishta had to send the disciples home, how he could also overcome his attachment, because Rama's form itself was such that independent of having a physical relationship as a parent or a guru, in the presence of the avatar, you're all the more in awe, and you want to possess, keep the avatar or keep that relationship for oneself. And but then we saw how Vashishta, once he realized that it is for that him to essence the Atma Rama, he let go of the physical Rama. But in this case, you see the struggle that Dasharatha had, and this could have its roots in how always the separation from his son. He was, I think, kind of haunted by Shravan Kumar's parents' curse and so on. It could be even related to that kind of an attachment that stems from fear of losing Lord Rama. So that's where I would come from, where all the more it made it difficult for him to see the wisdom behind the words of the sage, and his own fear, because at the end he's trying to justify that by saying that they are only boys and so on. But he has heard from his own wife, Mother Kaushalya, and all of the prowess of the baby. He has heard it from sage Vashishta. He has heard it from several other people as well, that they are not ordinary human beings. But it's what he's holding on to that is making him say those words. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Sister Shivani, I thought you had raised your hand.
Yeah, I don't know if it's off the topic here. My understanding is that King Dashratha was a selfless, righteous. I don't know if it was a realized soul, but dharmic thought, unity in word, thoughts, and action. I mean, all those things. So I'm just thinking, when you are at that level, do you still have I'm just kind of not able to draw some relationship between his attachment, and on the other hand, I don't know if he was Jivan Mukta, but all the characteristics what I know of Dashratha, I don't know, I'm not able to connect that why so much attachment. Righteous king, when you're at that level, or you're selfless, you're very dharmic, so you know the right and wrong, you know the good and bad, and then attachment. Maybe I'm just trying to make some connection there.
Thank you, sister.
So it's a question too, actually.
Oh, it's a question? Oh, okay.
Question is, see, I confuse people so easily. So the question is, when he is that level, how he's still so attached. Is it possible, like, when we reach to that level and still that attachment is that strong, is like it's, or there is no connection between you reach to that level, you can still be attached?
Okay. Beena, I thought you raised your hand.
Sai Ram, I was just going to make a point. before Sister Shivani said, that when Rama and Lakshmana had to go to pilgrimage with a company, King Dashratha and Mother Kaushalya, everybody was okay going, even they went for a few months. But here, when it comes to going with Sage Sage Vishwamitra, and about the reducing all these demons and everything, then only he becomes a little bit concerned. That's just I wanted to let you know. I mean, that's what my observation. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Bina. Thank you. Yes, Sister Vani.
Sai Ram. So I was just thinking, when we are in those kind of situations where our personal attachment conflicts with some greater societal benefit, it's always hard to make those kind of decisions, but we should just trust the guru's advice or the God's power and just bite the bullet and allow the benefit to the society and subdued the personal attachments. Just my thought.
Thank you, Sister. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sai Ram, brother. I'm just thinking about how they are performing how Vishwamitra want to perform a yajna, and where he was he wants somebody to guard from the evil spirit. Is every yajna is happens, or it's only for his yajna he's talking about?
Oh, Rakshasas come for every yajna?
Yeah, because it's some sacrilege thing. So I'm just thinking, is that we do all the time for that kind of thing and we start it, or it's only for this particular whatever he's starting? I'm just thinking that.
So you're asking whether for big yajnas, big Rakshasas
Yeah.
come, for small yajnas, small ones come?
No. Any yajna, is that something they do kind of like a ward off them evil spirit first, like that only they perform?
A good question, Sister. I will open it up for others to mention as well. I think Sister Vani's question has been answered by herself. I will just add something to that. Swami says, in the path of spirituality, God should be first, others should be second, and we should be last. That's the right way to. Swami has many times talked about how the Pandavas lived. God first, the rest of the society, the world second, and then we come last. And also in the Shastras, it's mentioned. In the Shastras also it mentions that we should be linked. I think a country can be given up for the world, given up for the world's benefit. A small city or village can be given up for the betterment of the country. And a family can be given up, or household can be given up for the benefit of the country or city. And an individual can be given up for the rest, even for a home. That's the way the Sanskrit Subhashitas talk, the wise sayings of the saints say. So it's all knowing what the order of priority is important. And Swami says, if the society does not exist, we don't exist. So I will leave it at that. So now that Sister Aruna has asked about all yajnas are in the danger of obstacles, maybe by Rakshasas or some evil elements. So I will open it up. Sai Satish, please go ahead.
For any good activity, it is the mind ultimately that is performing it. So if we see from a subtle point of view, we always start with Ganapati Prarthana. Of course, we say that he takes care of the obstacles on the outside, but truly it is the obstacles on the inside, because to be blessed with that ekagrata and ensure ekagrata, meaning concentration and kendriya karana, in terms of having all the senses being single pointed. I think that is what is the obstacle in every sadhana or yajna, whatever spiritual activity we undertake. So in this case, of course, we see, because sage Vishwamitra was doing the yajna in the forest areas where very remote to human inhabitation and so on. And of course, there these Rakshasas were coming and troubling. But then if we look at the discourses of Swami, where he has made how we have grihasthashrama, the householdership, he has made that as brihat ashrama in terms of how it has to be all encompassing, the obstacles that are faced and anything that is happening, we should stay focused. So I would say bigger the task, bigger the sadhana, greater is the challenge in terms of maintaining that single pointedness or concentration. And that's where more effort is needed by the buddhi to keep the mind under control and focus. Of course, it can manifest on the outside, but it's more manifested on the inside. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Anyone else would like to?
Brother, I just want to say, going back to what we were discussing before that, it just comes to my mind. If we looked at, mothers or parents, those who send their kids, or kids choose themselves to go in armed forces or police, they're young. They join that at the age of 18. And look, they are protecting the country, and police is keeping the internal community safety, well-being. I mean, look how their family is sacrificing so that general public can sleep well in peace and safety. But how many of us, we really definitely sit back and recognize when we hear in the shooting this happens, we have no idea what army at the border is doing in any country, whatever it is. But think about those parents, they are sending their kids off for whatever reason, right? That's a big sacrifice. Just a thought.
Thank you, sister. Yes, Sister Vani.
Sai Ram, brother. So I was just going back to Sister Aruna's question. Not like, there was a previous Putra Kameshti Yajna that was successful and there were not as much as obstacles. But in any sadhana, or in this case, a yajna is a sadhana, there may be some tests that we may have to face, but our sincerity, our faith in Swami, God, would help us succeed. So I'm just generally answering, but there were instances where in previous readings that the Putra Kameshti Yajna was successful.
Thank you, sister. Yes, Auntie.
Shreyamsi Bahuvignani, that is said. Whenever you want to do some good job, always there will be some obstacles coming. And that is challenges we have to face. That is a test for us. But at the same time, this yajna which Vishwamitra was performing he had the difficulties of those Rakshasas coming and making the whole yajna impure by pouring all sorts of impure things. It is mostly to bring out the bravery of this Rama Lakshmana. That is where Vishwamitra is asking Dasharatha to send his children to the whole world, how Rama and Lakshmana were great warriors. They are going to be great warriors, and their bravery is to be known to the whole world. That is the reason I think Vishwamitra try to convince Dasharatha what his children are going to be. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yeah, so, yes, Veena.
Saraman, just going back to Sister Shivani when she asked about the attachment of Dashratha, and she was wondering about being religious, very spiritual, and how can attachment. Not necessarily the religious people or Adhyatmic people do not have an attachment. There are so many instances, so many examples like Jad Bharat and so on. And in our scriptures, a lot of other also. And I would like you or auntie or somebody who can even elaborate a little bit on that being religious, I mean, there can be attachment because of this all sattva, raja, and tamaguna. It's everywhere, and how it is a degree-wise individual. If you can have some enlightenment on that, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Veena. Anyone else has something to offer? Maybe quite a few topics, but I think most of them had discussed, but maybe I will add a couple more points. Okay, we'll take King Dasharatha. I think Dr. Reddy was feeling that we are a bit too critical of Dasharatha. I don't, we know, brother, Dasharatha, we can never match Dasharatha. I think that's number one. But there are times in our life when divine beings or Lord asks something, we should be able to obey the command without any reservation. And if our attachment comes in the way, it can become a problem. We may not fully receive the grace. There are ample stories of great devotees who were tested by God, coming and saying, cut your son and feed me, cook him and feed me, things like that. And they did not think twice, because their devotion in those cases is not even God directly. Some say, someone, a saintly person comes home and asks, demands. But because of the vow they had taken, they have obeyed. So these things have happened. So I think that's where the attachment sometimes interferes with some divine work which we can do it. I think that's where, but I think we have to, not to demean Dasharatha in any way, but I think the fact is that everyone can fall down at some point. I think to Mr. Bina's point, attachment is the last thing for us to go. Attachment means body identification is the last one to go. But the body identification extends into attachments. We like people who are related to our body. So all that becomes attachment, and that's something which every devotee should overcome. Because Dasharatha was given many opportunities to overcome that, but he missed those lessons. He missed the opportunities to learn, though he had the theoretical understanding, I'm sure, because he has also studied the Vedas and so on, and the Upanishads. And he even told the children should be sent on pilgrimages to learn Vedanta, and all that. So he has the theoretical understanding, but somehow he could not put it into practice. That's what we are talking about. And we are also studying so much of Swami's teachings. we also will struggle to put them into practice. So that is why we are reading this. See, to offer to the Lord, as Sister Shivani said, if we have total faith in the Lord, we should not have any fear that any harm can happen without God's intention. And that is what the hallmark of a devotee. And so we should try our best. So every person, even Vishwamitra himself had a lot of attachment, even for the name of Brahmarishi. To that he went even to kill Vasishta. Okay, though he had risen to such a height of almost the state of Brahmarishi, he went to even kill. And when he went to kill Vasishta, for the sake that Vasishta didn't call him Brahmarishi, with that feeling of causing harm to Vasishta, he was sitting behind the bush. He heard Sage Vasishta talking very highly about him. So even for the highest people who have risen to the highest stages of spiritual evolution, they also can be suffering from one minor problem of attachment. In the case of Vishwamitra, it was attachment for the title. So this is not to say that someone is not inferior to us. It is for us to know what are the pitfalls even for the greatest. So unless we learn from our stage in a small ways, we will always fail somewhere along the way. I think that's only for that purpose. Then talking about all small, I think Auntie has nicely explained the degree of the greatness of any yajna or any activity will attract to the same degree the obstacles and impediments. And I think Auntie has nicely said, in this case, Vishwamitra wanted to reveal to the world. I'm sure he had enough techniques under his power to unleash, so the Rakshasas can't come anywhere near. But it was an opportunity for him to spend time with Rama Lakshmana, and also an opportunity to make the world aware of their greatness. I thought I will stop here. Sai Ram, Dina again.
Salaman, very well said. I really liked it. Also, we have to even understand that Vishwamitra, apart from the whole Menaka chapter, he was the one who gave us a Gayatri mantra. So how great he was. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sai Ram, brother. I am seeing another side of it here, please. Dasharatha not allowing the children, not only the attachment, beyond the attachment, I'm seeing him as he's thinking they are very small children. They don't have that power. I do have it, kind of. He's honestly saying to the preceptor. So in this case, he shouldn't be saying anything to the Vasishtha and Vishwamitra and just follow his words, kind of thing? Or is it okay for him to say whatever he believes as a small children? He's looking as a small children there. Not, I don't see that attachment, kind of, but because of he's saying they will not, I have all the powers to protect all kind of things. So I'm thinking in this case, he has to follow the preceptor, kind of, some kind of Swami wants to emphasize that part. Or I'm just thought of understand a little more on that. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sister, often when we have conversations, we don't listen to what the other person is saying. Vishwamitra has already told in no uncertain terms that Dasharatha, all his retinue, his millions of soldiers cannot accomplish what these two boys can accomplish. He has already said that. He has already said that Dasharatha can accomplish what these boys can.
So he didn't.
So he was not listening. That in good conversation, you should listen. So he is trying to argue here.
Okay.
Okay.
That is the part I'm trying to understand. Yes.
So this is what happens. See, once you have attachment, your buddhi stops functioning. You don't listen carefully. So I think that's what happened. That's my view.
Okay.
Because once one of these feelings catch hold of you, your intellect doesn't work. Okay, so it's my understanding. I think Sister Shivani raised her hand and dropped it.
I just want to say the way you explain it's so nice. Thank you so much, because this is what I was thinking. It should come out of the discussion. Maybe I'm not right, because there's a book, How to Tame Our Monkey Mind, from Phyllis Crystal, chapter 16. It's just we are teaching to our SSE kids, and she's exactly said with the attachment, to overcome that we need to be, what she said, practical spirituality, put things in action. Exactly what she said. Thank you, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sister. Swami has more eloquently said this in many of his discourses.
She's very clearly said in this chapter. So thank you so much.
Yes, Ron, please go ahead.
Said, I'm sorry we're jumping from topic to topic a little bit, but just a little footnote to the discussion about the sort of the more powerful the yajna, the more it tends to attract negative forces. People may be interested to know that for centuries, some of the Christian mystical saints experienced horrific, actually, attacks on their person, demonic entities that were not visible, but people could actually see them being assaulted, physically as well as psychologically. They did not have a discipline of banishing, but these mystical saints were not bothered by that. They said, "Demons can torment me to their heart's content. I will not waver from my faith in the Lord." And eventually they would subside. But many well-documented cases from the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, horrific stuff, but they're just steadfast. They didn't have Ram and Lakshmana to come to their aid, but their faith in Jesus was enough. That's all. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Ron. Anyone has any other points to discuss?
Sai Ram,
Sai Ram, to you.
just a clarification. If I remember correct, 100 sons of Vasishtha were also killed. 100 sons of Vasishtha
Yes.
were killed by Vishwamitra. So actually Vasishtha wants to commit suicide, rising up to, he goes up to the top of the mountain, wants to fall down. But I think at that point of time, who comes to the advise Vasishtha?
I think Narada, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Whenever there's a problem, he comes. Whenever there's no problem, also he comes.
Also he comes. Okay. And he tells him that you have a lot to achieve, and this is not the way how you have to. Being a realized Brahmarshi, how can you behave like this? You cannot. So he realizes that. Then he doesn't keep that vengeance in his mind.
Yes.
Easily he could have overcome that Vishwamitra with his powers, but he did not do it. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. So if everyone is okay, we will go forward. Ron.
Sai Ram. Hearing these words, the sage said, "O king, I am not satisfied in spite of all that you say. I assert once again, you cannot accomplish this assignment. Can you not realize that it is beyond even me, who is acclaimed as well-nigh omnipotent and omniscient? How then can you take up this task and succeed? You consider these boys just ordinary children. This is a mistake, resulting from the affection you have as the father. I know full well that they are the divine might itself in human form. Do not hesitate. Keep your words so solemnly given, and send them this very moment with me. Or else, accept that you are not true to your word. I shall depart. Do either of these quickly. This is no occasion for wavering and delay. The king was frightened by the sharpness of the sage's voice. He was overwhelmed by fear. In despair, Dasharatha wanted that his preceptor be invited to court. Vasishta came in, and on seeing Vishwamitra, they exchanged smiles and words of mutual respect. Vasishta heard from the king an account of all that had happened. Of course, Vasishta knew quite well the divine reality of the boys. So he decided to advise the king not to have the least worry, but entrust the boys gladly to the loving custody of the sage.
Okay, auntie.
అంత విశ్వామిత్రుడు రాజా నీవెన్ని చెప్పినను నా మనసు ఒప్పటం లేదు.
Oh, then sage Vishwamitra said, O king, I am not satisfied whatever you have been saying.
ఇది నీ చేత కాదు.
This is not your work.
సర్వజ్ఞుడును సర్వ తపశక్తి సంపన్నుడైన నాకే ఇది సాధ్యమొకటి లేదు.
Even for me, who is all-knowing and all-powerful, even for me it is not possible.
ఇంకా నీకెట్లు సాధ్యమగును?
Then how can it be possible for you?
ఆ పిల్లలు సామాన్యులని నీవు తలచుచున్నావు.
You are thinking these children are ordinary children.
ఇది పుత్రవాత్సల్యముచే కలిగిన పొరపాటు.
This is a mistake which has resulted from love for your children.
సంశయించక మాటను నిలబెట్టుకొనుటకై వారలను తక్షణమే నా వెంట పంపుము.
Without having any doubt, just as I have asked, and the word you have given, please send them with me.
లేదా మాటను నిలబెట్టుకొనలేకపోచున్నాను అని పలికిన నేను వెళ్ళొత్తును.
If not, instead, if you tell that I cannot keep up my word, I will leave immediately.
రెండింటిలో ఏదియో ఒకటి గావింపుము.
Do one of the other.
కాలహరణము చేయ సమయము కాదు.
This is not the time to, it's not the time to waste.
అని తీక్ష్ణ వచనములతో పలుకు మునిని చూచి,
Thus, when the sage spoke in strong words, very pointed words, hearing that,
మునిని చూచి, he saw that.
Then the king saw the sage like that.
ఏమి ప్రమాదము వాటిల్లునో అని దశరథుడు భయభ్రాంతుడై,
worrying, what would happen, thus being afraid.
మంత్రి నంపి వశిష్ఠుల వారిని పిలిపించెను.
He sent his minister to sage Vasishta and asked him to come.
వశిష్ఠుల వారు వచ్చి విశ్వామిత్రుని చూచి,
But sage Vasishta came and looked at Vishwamitra.
పరస్పరము నవ్వులతో కృతజ్ఞతలను తెలుపుచు కూర్చొని,
Mutually they appreciated each other and they spoke to each other and they sat smiling.
రాజు వలన జరిగిన కథనంతయును విపులముగా వినెను.
He listened all that happened with the king in detail.
బాలుర సంగతి వశిష్ఠుల వారికి కూడాను తెలియను.
The sage Vasishtha also knew about the sons. And
కనుక
their,
సారీ,
yes,
ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్, ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్.
no, Vasishtha also knew the
Greatness.
nature and the story of the boys.
కనుక ఇందులోకి ఏమాత్రము విచారమును వెలిబుచ్చక,
Therefore, not giving way to any worry,
దశరథునికి నచ్చ చెప్పుటకు పూనుకొనెను.
he decided to advise Dasharatha in the right action.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. So Vishwamitra had to repeat again and in more detail. But even then, the king didn't seem to accept. He thought maybe Sage Vasishtha will make him escape. Again, another instance of not listening. So I will stop here. That's why, attachment covers blinds one. That's what it is. Sai Ram, we'll open it up for discussion, Sai Ram. Sai Ram Bina.
Anna, Swami has used word affection rather than attachment.
Pardon?
Just want-
Putra Vatsalyam Swami has used.
So, yes. So, the attachment can be a little different than the affection, isn't it, Anna? Sai Ram.
See, Vatsalya is attachment only. We may try to elevate it to some high degree. Vatsalya is Vatsalya. Vatsalya Bhakti is different from Vatsalya. It's what Vatsalya Bhava. Because Swami says love is only towards God. Love towards the world is only attachment. Okay, that's what Swami has so clearly said. I will stop here. Then you ask, should we not have even a love for a child? I think that will be the natural question, but I will stop from me talking. I will open it up for others to discuss. Sai Ram. I think exactly Swami said, a mistake arising out of Putra Vatsalya. Auntie, am I right?
Swami says, ఇది పుత్రవాత్సల్యం వచ్చే కలిగిన పొరపాటు.
పొరపాటు, mistake. Yes, Sister Shiva.
Just a thought, and maybe Auntie can add to that. It's to me, I'm just thinking it's like Swami and his student or devotees back then. If Swami is going from Vrindavan to Prashanti and they're crying, why are you going? We didn't see you for a long time. And I believe Rama and Lakshman, all they just came back from their ashram and now they will be taken away. I think King Dashrath didn't get enough time to really adore or spend time with their children to satisfy himself. And before that, he reached to that level. Now there was a call to take them away. I'm just drawing some parallels. Isn't it similar? Like, when Swami goes away and everybody's crying, no, we don't want Swami to go. Even Sai Gita, no, we don't want you to go away. So it's the love towards God. I don't know if it's attachment, or maybe that could be called attachment to our Swami as well. I'm just trying to see the similarities. God, King Dashratha, yes, he knows divinity of his own son, but he wants to live for a moment in that space with his son, with God, like how many devotees and students used to cry for Swami too. Just a thought.
Good question, sister. Yes, Sister Brinda.
Sai Ram, brother. So when Swami is narrating this story, what he would have thought, I'm just trying to understand. You see, what message he's trying to tell the people in the current Yuga, Kali Yuga? Is there a message he's trying to say? Like, especially when, I mean, we are all Swami devotees. He's our guru, he's our Lord, but then there are other fake ones too. So in this manner, like, is he trying to say something to us? If you can elaborate on that side.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Auntie Bunny, you had raised.
The discussion was about attachment, isn't that?
Yes.
I feel Swami, if I am correct, Swami had been telling this one, the attachment to my body. Always he used to refer to his body. You are all attached to my body. Just when the day when the body goes, I mean, merges, then don't feel bad about it. That's what Swami used to say, I think, if I'm correct. Please correct me if I'm.
Yes, Auntie. So Sister Shivani will tackle. No one else is saying anything, so I will speak. It is. I think you asked about devotees crying, Sai Gita crying, and so on. Attachment will always be there, but the level of importance we give it, that what matters. Attachment in the sense as long as we think I live in this body, I have to look after the body. So to that extent, at least we should have some level of. But as Swami would say, we need to know where to draw the line in terms of to what degree attachment is also needed for us to live in this world. But how much importance do we give? How much value do we give? This matters. In this case, there was nothing wrong with Dasharatha being attached. When you said he needed more time, most parents, if you ask, 50, 60 years of continuous presence of their children is also not sufficient.
That's suffocating your kids.
No. Even when they are 90 years and they don't want to leave their children and go, sometimes they can't even see the children clearly with the eyes, nor hear what they say. But that's the nature of attachment. So I will just leave it at that. And then to Sister Brinta's question, what are we to learn from this? What Swami say? I would say, so the reality in this world is, Swami has told so much. If we say Swami is avatar, Swami is God incarnate, even after Swami says something, we will find some excuse. We will say, so and so said this, maybe Swami will understand. These are tendencies of our own mind. We will say, oh, it is too early for them. Let's not push my belief in them. Things like that. And we indulge children. And then when children, are not following what we say, then we are so troubled by it. We are not as troubled by our own practice. So I think so. Ultimately, it is for us to remind ourselves, what the Lord says is what matters. And no one in the world should come in between us and the Lord. I think that's what ultimately is. That's my understanding. So we also should check ourselves in every situation when any attachment tries to derail our thought process unnecessarily. I think that's also something to look at. Because, as I said, Dasharatha was given many opportunities for to learn this. And because he didn't learn, he died crying. That's a reality. The Putra Vatsalyam itself killed him. Okay, that's a reality. So if only he had learned earlier on and embraced that as a reality, he may have also enjoyed the Rama even in his old age. So I'll stop here. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts? Oh, I don't know whether...
It is time for a quiz.
Yes, and so, yes, thank you. Sorry, the quiz team, I ate 5 minutes from your...
That's okay. I don't know. Sai Ram.
Sorry.
So we'll continue with the sort of open-ended questions. Tonight's question is from chapter 2, which is the imperial line, which is the ancestors of Sri Ram, the Ikshvaku line. So there's a particular story in it, you may recall, about King Dilipa, who for many years didn't have a child and didn't understand why. And then he found out through Vasishta's inner vision it was due to a curse that Kamadhenu had pronounced on him when he had walked right past Kamadhenu and didn't even notice her. And so the question that we have is based on this. It says, in the story where the divine cow, Kamadhenu, curses Dilipa, is it right to interpret such an act as an expression of ego, meaning Kamadhenu's ego? Or is there a deeper spiritual meaning behind a divine being issuing a curse? So the whole question is about being cursed by the divine being the motive behind it. So just open up the floor for discussion of it. If there's need for further clarification, by all means we can. Otherwise, dive right in. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Ron. Anyone is open to respond? I think the answer is also given in the same chapter, if I remember. My memory serves me well.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Everyone is referring to chapter 2. Yes, Stefan. I don't think you are allowed to answer until...
Okay, I'll wait then.
No, sorry. You will get the opportunity. Sorry.
No, I can wait.
Okay, thanks.
Brother can read our mind that we all are flipping our notes. Flipping through our notes. Brother, can you repeat the question, please, one more time?
Certainly. I won't repeat the context.
Yes.
Presumably it's clear enough. So the question is it right to interpret this act as an expression of ego, meaning Kamadhenu's ego? Or is there a deeper spiritual meaning behind a divine being issuing a curse?
Thank you.
Yes, Sai Satish.
Ramana. So, okay, we say Swami got angry with the students and so on. So the first question will be, will it be real? Is it really Swami being angry? Because we know that Swami being angry means what will be the outcome or the aftermath of that for the world. So it is, and secondly, even when that anger is shown, ultimately, what is the singular purpose of that anger, which is being shown, is for the benefit of the students or benefit of the devotees. So in this case, also when we take Kamadhenu, it is coming from that divine cow. And we know when we talk about the 5 matas that we have, one is Go Mata, the mother, and we may call it as a curse in terms of English parlance or so on. But basically, it's the anguish that is coming out. And that anguish also is from, ultimately, it's given because the part of the curse clearly says that when he realizes and atones for it, that itself becomes a blessing. So it is the way Dilipa took it as well. And he could have taken that thing as a curse and then gone about in a different way, or immediately realize where the mistakes came from and atone for it in such a manner. Ultimately, it led to him where he was ready to sacrifice his life in place of Kamadenu's daughter, Sabala. So that point of bringing out the complete transformation in Dilipa clearly shows what is the purpose behind that curse. I think in other study circle also we discussed how the same muhurtam which sage Vashishta had fixed for the coronation of Rama became the muhurtam for Rama going to the forest. For the denizens of Ayodhya at that point in time, it appeared to be as if it's a curse for Rama in the sense that he had to go away to the forest. But Rama, the way he took it, the Lord took it as I'm going to the forest to serve the sages and take care of the denizens there as well. So I think ultimately it is one's attitude that makes the impact of a curse or what lies as the undercurrent behind that into a blessing or stay as a curse. And especially when it is coming from a celestial being, it obviously is for the welfare of the individual and the benefit of humanity at large. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Anyone else? Okay, Sister Vani, you can go now.
Sai Ram. So, it was an actual oversight by Dilipa that, he didn't notice, he didn't respect, he didn't revere the divine cow. However, at the request of his guru, he took that very seriously and did a repentance and served the cow, the Kamadenu, the Nandini cow, and was able to get the blessing. And then the lesson that I take from this is that even though we may have some karmic burden, some curse from our previous births, our vasanas, but if we do take Guru's advice seriously and be devotion and be humility and with some service, we would be able to overcome that curse and karmic burden.
Thank you, Sister. Yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
See, the main Kamadenu did not have any egoistic attitude or anything like that. If the king himself doesn't revere or respect the cow, what about the subjects? Subjects will follow the king. So Kamadenu's curse was only to make the king realize that it is his duty and to take care of the cows, so that the subjects also will follow and cows will be revered and respected. I feel so.
Okay. Yes, Sister Shivani.
From our discussion from the study circles, that nothing will happen without divine will. Nothing will, even the curse, good or bad. And what I have learned, that there is a good, there is bad too. The only thing is when this thing happened, a curse, which we are calling or seems to be a curse, is blessing in disguise. So as Swami has said, anything you see wrong, there is something for you to learn. But are you ready to learn? Can you see something? Are you Like Arjun was ready to receive the message, but are we ready to see in anything which we perceive is wrong, which is not wrong, but which we perceive, what is there for us to learn? So everything to me, I know it can be called curse or it can be called ego, even if it's ego, whatever, nothing will happen without divine will. It's all his play at the very higher level. At lower level is just we have to say, okay, this has happened, or it was a curse, but it was, as everybody said, it was for a good reason. So if we look at it, it is all his leela, it is all thing, nothing wrong, nothing bad, everything is good. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sister. So I'll just wind up. I think time 10:16. Kamadhenu's thought process, I think, is described in the Vahini. And she says, if, as Auntie said, if the king is like that, the praja also will be different. And his lineage, this type of lineage should not continue. That was also thought, because then similar kings means it's a problem. And the curse is supposed to be an opportunity for people to reflect on their actions and redeem themselves. Because Kamadhenu doesn't benefit in any way whether somebody pays respect or not. But it is an indication of how unmindful a king is. A king is expected to be fully vigilant of all that happens around him. So in this case, Dilipa, it was unintentional, but because he was caught up with some thoughts of his palace or something like that, I think that's what I remember. Because of that, he ignored looking at it. But Kamadhenu's intention of cursing was that he should improve, he should correct himself. It's not that this fellow should suffer. I think hopefully that understanding is there. With those thoughts, we will close for today and we'll meet. I don't know whether we can meet next weekend because there's going to be Ekadasha Rudra attend. We are, as a country, we are going to be chanting Ekadasha Rudram, coinciding with the Ekadasha Rudram in Puttaparthi, which is taking place on the 25th, I think, 25th Parthi time. But it will be 24th our time, so we will not be having this study circle next week. We'll meet in 2 weeks' time. Okay, Sai Ram, everyone. We'll close with the Samasta Loka prayer. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.